Black Friday discount. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Here we are at the end of November. For those in the Northern Hemisphere, the days are shorter, and therefore the nights are longer. Darkness extends its reach across so many places. Darkness is a poem by Lord Byron. It was inspired by the eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia, which drastically altered the weather conditions across the world. And back in 1816, that year became known as the year without a summer. Byron wrote this: I had a dream which was not all a dream. The bright sun was extinguished, and the stars did wander darkling in the eternal space, rayless and pathless, and the icy earth swung blind and blackening in the moonless air. Morn came and went, and came and brought no day. And men forgot their passions in the dread of this their desolation, and all hearts were chilled into a selfish prayer for light. And they did live by watchfires and the thrones, the palaces of crowned kings, the huts, the habitation of all things which dwell, were burned for beacons. Cities were consumed, and men were gathered round their blazing homes to look once more into each other's face. Happy were those who dwelt within the eye of the volcanoes and their mountain torch. A fearful hope was all the world contained. Forests were set on fire, but hour by hour they fell and faded, and the crackling trunks extinguished with a crash, and all was black. The brows of men by the despairing light wore an unearthly aspect, as by fits the flashes fell upon them. Some lay down, and hid their eyes and wept, and some did rest, their chins upon their clenched hands, and smiled, and others hurried to and fro, and fed their funeral piles with fuel, and looked up with mad disquietude on the dull sky, the pall of a past world, and then again with curses cast them down upon the dust, and gnashed their teeth and howled. The wild birds shrieked and terrified did flutter on the ground, and flap their useless wings. The wildest brutes came tame and tremorless, and vipers crawled and twined themselves among the multitude, hissing but stingless. They were slain for food. And war, which for a moment was no more, did glut himself again. A meal was bought with blood, and each sate sullenly apart, gorging himself in gloom. No love was left. All earth was but one thought, and that was death, immediate and inglorious. And the pang of famine fed upon all entrails. Men died, and their bones were tombless as their flesh. The meagre by the meagre were devoured. Even dogs assailed their masters, all save one, and he was faithful to a course, and kept the birds and beasts and famished men at bay, till hunger clung them, or the dropping dead lured their lank jaws. Himself sought out no food, but with a piteous and perpetual moan, and a quick desolate cry, licking the hand which answered not with a caress, he died. The crowd was famished by degrees, but two of an enormous city did survive, and they were enemies. They met beside the dying embers of an altar place, where had been heaped a mass of holy things for an unholy usage. They raked up and shivering scraped with their cold, skeleton hands the feeble ashes, and their feeble breath blew for a little life, and made a flame which was a mockery. Then they lifted up their eyes as it grew lighter, and beheld each other's aspects, saw and shrieked and died. Even of their mutual hideousness they died, unknowing who he was upon whose brow famine had written fiend. The world was void, the populous and the powerful was a lump, seasonless, herbless, treeless, manless, lifeless, a lump of death, a chaos of hard clay. The rivers, lakes, and ocean all stood still, and nothing stirred within their silent depths. Ships, sailorless, lay rotting on the sea, and their masts fell down piecemeal as they dropped. They slept on the abyss without a surge. The waves were dead. The tides were in their grave. Their moon, their mistress, had expired before. The winds were withered in the stagnant air, and the clouds perished. Darkness had no need of aid from them. She was the universe. That was Darkness by Lord Byron. And of course, it's the blackest of days, for it is Black Friday. And naturally, in order to make use of that, you are able to make use of a 40% discount code, which you can use in the Knowledge Vault across everything that you find there, apart from audio and email consultations, narc detectors, empath detectors, trait detectors, weaponized empath detectors, and 20 tutor minutes, and also in relation to additional word bundles. But everything else, over 200 products, services, bulletins, packages, attract 40%, a delicious 40% for you to take off and fill your boots with a range of goodies to entertain and amuse you, and more importantly, those aspects that will help you gain liberation, enlightenment, and ensure that you are able to understand more about narcissism and to aid yourself in your quest for freedom and understanding. Whether it's understanding how to co-parent with a narcissist or how to tackle emotional thinking, whether it is how to stop thinking about the narcissist or how to defend your child, learning more about the various cadres and schools of narcissists through the H.G. Moore series. There is a wealth of material, and I would urge you to access it to complement the free work that I provide to you through the videos. To avail yourself of this generous discount, which will be available over the course of today and the next few days, all you need do is go to the Knowledge Vault, choose what you want, and when you're about to check out, you enter the code PEST40, PEST40, P-E-S-T, Papa Echo Sierra Tango 40. Enter that, it's all lowercase, and apply and you'll receive your discount. Make sure you put the code in before you make your payment, otherwise you won't get the discount. And therefore, you can enjoy, those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, the darkened evenings, the longer nights, with a wealth of material to read and to listen to. And those of you in the Southern Hemisphere that are looking forward as summer comes to you with brighter lights, well, you can cherish those equally with all of the knowledge that I provide to you. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.